Nice to meet you. I'm Khizar Chuktai, and you're watching my YouTube channel, School of Advanced Chemistry. Today, I'm going to explain how to solve paper 1 multiple choice question, May June 2022, O level chemistry 1 2 variant. Let's get started. Come towards question number 1. A student investigates the rate of reaction between calcium carbonate and hydrochloric acid. Here is the diagram that is having the different sort of apparatuses. The volume of gas in the syringe is recorded after 1 minute. The experiment is repeated using different concentration of hydrochloric acid. Which additional pieces of apparatus are essential for this investigation? Number one, balance. Number two, measuring cylinder. The third one is stop clock. Yes, balance is essential because to measure the mass of calcium carbonate every time. It's a solid, so its mass will be measured with the help of balance. Come towards the second one, that is the measuring cylinder. It is also essential to measure the volume of aqueous hydrochloric acid, that is a solution basically. And to check out, to take the solution of the equal volume but with a different concentration every time, you need measuring cylinder. Stop clock is obviously required to check the time of 1 minute interval. So 1, 2, 3, all are required. I mean, D is the correct option. Question number 2. Which statement is correct? A mixture of the liquid with the boiling point, which differ by 35 degrees Celsius, can be separated by distillation. I think it's right, it's correct. However, let me check the other options. Locating agents are needed to identify the color present in the ink. No. Locating agents are not needed for colored substances, they are required for non colored substances. The C option, the desalination of the seawater to produce pure water, is achieved by fraction distillation. Once again, no. Fraction distillation is performed for the mixture of two or more than two liquids. In case of seawater, it's a mixture of soluble salt and water. So again, this option is also incorrect option. These both are incorrect. The last one, RF value of the dye in the chromatogram can be calculated using the formula and distance moved by the solvent divided by distance moved by the spot. No, RF is spot to spot distance, spot to spot distance divided by spot to solvent distance. So there must be the distance moved by a spot and there should be solvent. So again, it's incorrect and it is confirmed that A is the correct option. Question number 3. Some reactions of an aqueous solution of compound X are given. When a few drops of aqueous sodium hydroxide are added, a white precipitate is formed. Few drop of sodium hydroxides are added, white precipitates are going to form or is going to form. It may be aluminium 3 positive ion solution. There may be the presence of calcium 2 positive ion. There may be the presence of magnesium 2 positive ion. There may be the presence of zinc 2 positive ion in the solution. Come toward the next information. When dilute nitric acid is added and the mixture is warmed, nitric acid, and the second one is he is warming the mixture, a gas is formed. The gas decolorizes the acidified potassium magnate. As far as the O-level chemistry syllabus is concerned, if any gas that is going to decolorize the KMNO4, the typical gas that should be one of the possible main possible option is SO2 gas. It is a test for SO2 gas. It can change the color of KMNO4. It can change the color of K to Cr2O7. So there is the highly chance of for the presence of for the formation of the gas that is SO2 according to this point number 2. Third one, when dilute nitric acid and aqueous barium nitrates are added, no visible reactions occur. Remember that when we add dilute nitric acid into any SO4 2 negative ion compound, our compound is having CO3 2 negative ions. So acid, dilute mineral acid, basically destroy these two ions and convert them into the gas. SO2 gas is formed from SO3, a source, a resource you can say, and CO2 gas is formed from the carbonate ion. So if you are adding dilute nitric acid and then you are adding barium nitrate, no precipitate, mean no SO4 2 negative ion is there. No SO4 2 negative ion is there. Now come toward the options. What can be deduced about the identity of X? X contains A option, X contains only aluminum sulfate. No, sulfate is not possible over here, as you have seen in the last option. B, X contain only calcium sulfide. Yes, it may be correct. It may be correct, you can say. However, let me check it, the further options. X must contain aluminium sulfide. Aluminium sulfide, yes, it could be, or zinc sulfide, yes, it's also possible. Again, I'm going to the last one option. X must contain aluminum sulfide. Yes, it's possible. Calcium sulfide, again possible. Or zinc sulfide, again possible. As I told you, calcium ion, aluminum ion, magnesium ion, and zinc ion can give the observation that is written at the top. So all these options are correct. So the appropriate option is the D option, the option that is having maximum capacity of the possibility or the maximum variant of its possible correct answers. That is D option. So D is the correct option in this case. Question number 4. Which set of changes to the conditions increases the volume of a gas, pressure, and temperature? Volume is directly proportional to temperature. Higher the temperature, higher the volume. I mean, increase in temperature will increase the volume. And volume is inversely proportional to the pressure. So, decrease in pressure will increase the volume. So temperature must be increased, pressure must be decreased. So pressure decreased, temperature increase. A is the correct option. Question number 5. Ethylamine gas C2H5NH2 and hydrogen chloride gas react together to form a white solid, that is ethylamine hydrochloride. At which position in the tube would a ring of the solid white ethylamine chloride forms? First of all, I'm going to check their masses. MR, the mass of ethyl C2H5 is equal to 29 plus N14 plus 2, I mean 16, that is equal to 45. So its mass is 45 gram per mole. What is the mass of hydrogen chloride vapors, HCl? And its mass is 1 plus 35.5, that is equal to 36.5 gram per mole. So its mass is 36.5 gram per mole. I'm going to put a line, almost at the middle of the tube. Which gas will pass through this line first? Obviously, the gas that is having the lower mass, it will cross this line first. And then they will meet together at a point. So the possible answer is A. They are highly likely to be encounter with each other at this point, because this distance traveled by this ethyl amine is smaller. Here the distance traveled by this HCl is higher. As the HCl vapors are having lower mass, so their speed of diffusion will be higher, and ethyl amine is having higher mass, its speed will be lower. Lower mass, higher speed of HCl, higher mass of ethylamine mean its speed, its distance travel amount will be lower, and so on. So appropriate option in this case is the A option. Question number 6. Element X can be represented by the symbol X, 6 and 14. It's a Z and this 14 is equal to A. A mean atomic mass, C mean proton number. Which statement about an element, an atom of the element X are correct? It has 6 electron. Yes, it is true. We can find the number of electron. In this case, there is no charge. There is no charge on this element. So number of proton is equal to number of electron. 6 electrons, it's having 6 protons. Neutron is equal to higher number minus smaller number is equal to 8 neutrons and so on. Yes, it has 8 proton. No, it's wrong. It is having 6 protons. It is an isotope of carbon. Let me check it once again. Isotope of carbon, I'm going to write it over here. Its atomic number should be the sixth one, and its mass number should be different from the carbon. And the stable isotope is having 12. This is the, you can say, the stable isotope of carbon, and it is having 6 proton number, but mass number is equal to 12. There must be the same number of protons. Yes, it's having the same number, 6 number, but its mass number is higher, different. Yes, it can be the isotope of carbon. The fourth one, it is an isotope of nitrogen. No, it cannot, because their number, the lower number, the smaller number must be matched with the nitrogen, and the nitrogen's proton number is equal to 7, and it is having the number that is equal to 6. So it cannot be the isotope of nitrogen. So 1 and 3 are the two correct option. Overall, C is the correct answer. Two isotope of chlorine are Cl35 and other one is Cl37 with respect to their masses. Using these isotope, carbon mass is 12, hydrogen mass is supposed to be 1. How many different relative molecular masses are possible for the compound with molecular formula C2H3Cl3? I'm writing it over here, some sort of its displayed formula. Suppose I am writing this molecule like that. C2H3, I'm sorry, C2H3. C2H3. Let's suppose this is the one of the possible structure of this molecular formula, Cl3. And in this case, this portion is the constant mass, showing the constant mass. It's 12, it's 1, it's 1, it's 1. This portion is showing 15 mass plus. This carbon is also showing the constant mass that is equal to 12. Let's suppose this molecule, one of the possible molecule is having smallest masses of all Cl. This Cl is having 35 mass. It's having 35 mass. It's also supposed to have 35 mass. So what should be the overall answer? 15 plus 12 plus here, for chlorine, 35 plus 35 plus 35, and the answer will be 105. 105. So this is the one of the possible MR. 1 MR. Come toward the second options. If one Cl is of 35, and let's suppose the second one is of 37. Two Cl of 35 mass and one is of 37. So its mass will be 107. Its second possible mass will be 107. If the next one is, there are 237, there are the two atoms of 37 mass. Two atoms of Cl are showing 37 mass, and the third one is of 35 mass. Again, there is rise of, two number. It will be its mass. The third MR, or the third mass, will be equal to 109. The last one option is, if this molecule may have all Cl atom, those are higher with the higher masses, those are of higher isotope or the higher isotope. And so its option will be equal to 111 MR. So 105, 107, 109, 111, four different possible MRs are there. As far as the two possibility of the two, I mean, chlorine isotopes are concerned. So the correct option is a C option. There are four different type of molecules will be there. Four different molecules will be there with respect to the different masses. Okay, now come towards question number 8. Which row is correct? Elements, compounds, and mixtures. Graphite is element, iron is an element, element. It's not an element, and these both are not elements. So either A or B are the correct option. Compounds, methane is compound, water is compound, sand is compound, water is compound, and mixtures, air is a mixture, copper is pure element, air is a mixture, and brass is also mixture. So B row is having all correct options. So overall B is the correct option. Which statement about ionic compound is correct? They all are solid at room temperature. Yes, that is true. All ionic compounds are solid at room temperature. However, I'm going to check the rest of option. They all conduct electricity at room temperature. No. They are soluble in water. They all are not soluble in water. Some of the ionic compound are water soluble. They have strong intermolecular. No, there is no any sort of intermolecular force in ionic compound, but because their structure is joint ionic structure. So it is confirmed that A is the correct option. Now come towards question number 10. A molecule of tetrafluorosilane SiF4 is shown in dot and cross diagram. Only the outer electrons are shown. SiF4. Silicon is making four bond and each F is sharing one electron. I mean, it's making one bond. Which statement is correct? Now come toward the options. Each molecule of SiF4 has exactly 16 pair of electron. Let me check the total pair of electron. I mean, he is saying about the total pair of electron. Silicon plus 4F. One silicon is having atomic number that is equal to 14, and each fluorine is having atomic number that is equal to 9. So total electrons in 4F will be equal to 36, and in one silicon atom it is equal to 14. Total number of electron will be equal to 50. Total electrons, you can change it into pair, the pair of electron that is equal to 25 pairs. So first option is incorrect option. The next one is in silicon fluoride, sorry, silicon tetrafluorosilicon or silicon fluoride, yes, you can say it. In both silicon and fluorine have the same electronic configuration as the neon. Neon is having electronic configuration. I mean, neon is having total 10 electrons, two over here in first shell, and the last shell it is having 8 electrons. It's electronic configuration of the neon. In case of F, yes, it is following the electronic configuration of neon. The first one is having 2 electron, and the last one is having 8 electron. You can see from the picture. But in case of silicon, overall silicon is having 14 electron, 4 electrons are shared. So total electron at present, it is now having 18 electrons. Silicon is having now 18 electron, mean it's having 3 shells, 2 electrons, then 8 electrons, then the last one is again having 8 electrons. So silicon is not obeying the electronic configuration of neon, so it is incorrect option. Molten SiF4 will conduct electricity. SiF4 will not conduct electricity because it's not an ionic compound. It's not in ionic compound, so it will not conduct. The last one option, definitely it will be the correct option. SiF4 has low melting point. Yes, it is true because it is a simple covalent molecule and it is supposed to show low melting point. I mean, D is the correct option. Come toward the next one, question number 11. The table describe two properties associated with metals. Which row shows a correct reason for the four stated properties? Number one, malleable, electrical conductance, I mean, conduct electricity, and the last one is a similar one. The reason is the layer of the metal ions can slide over each other. Layer of the metal anions. No, there are no layer of metal anions, so it's incorrect. The next one is malleability. The layer of metal cations can slide. Yes, it is true. The malleability is the property of a metal when it is hammered. The layers of the metal cation can slide over each other. Yes, it is true. So B is the correct option. It's a simple question. It's a straightforward question. You can say, just knowing the definition of a malleability, you can click, you can tick the answer. Next question, question number 12. Aqueous silver nitrate react with aqueous potassium chromate to give yellow precipitate. What is the ionic equation for this reaction? Let's see over here. AgNO3, it's aqueous, plus K2CrO4, and it's also aqueous, goes to make yellow precipitate, and yellow precipitate will be because of silver and CrO4 negative ion, silver positive ion and CrO4 negative ion. You can see that from here, this CrO4 is having -2 charge because the potassium, there is 2 mole of potassium atom and it is having +2 charge. So this CrO4 is having two negative ion charge. CrO4 is an ion with -2 charge, and silver Ag positive, it's having 1 positive charge. You can see it over here. Nitrate is having -1 charge always, so it's having +1. So +1 and CrO4 is having -2, plus minus will cancel out. 2 will be over here, 1 will be over here. So exact formula will be Ag2 CrO4. This is the formula of the yellow precipitate. So where is the formula? This one, all are having Ag2CrO4, 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 and it's not having, so it's incorrect. Number one. Number two, and Ag2CrO4 is solid, plus there will be 2 mole of potassium nitrate. You can see that they are making the positive ion, is making negative ion, and from here you can see that it's making 2 potassium positive ion, CrO4 2 negative ion. We can write it like this: aqueous plus NO3 negative, aqueous, plus 2 potassium ion, aqueous. I change the soluble compound, those are making ion into the systematically into their respective ions. Silver nitrate is making 2 ions. I'm reporting over here. This potassium chromate is making 2 type of ions. I'm also reporting these ions over here. On the right hand side, there is no ion. Ag2 CrO4 is not making any sort of ion because it is a solid. However, this potassium nitrate is also making ions. 2 potassium positive ion aqueous, plus 2NO3 negative ion aqueous. If I'm balancing this equation, then you can see I'm going to put over 2 over here. Now this is a balance equation. I mean, 2 will be over here, 2 will be over here. So the spectator ions are the potassium ion. Potassium ion is present on the both side, 2 mole of potassium ion. And nitrate ions are also spectator ion. They are also present on the both sides. So I'm canceling them out. And the remaining equation is having 2 silver aqueous, 1 positive, plus CrO4, 2 negative, goes to Ag2CrO4, O4 solid. And this is the final, your ionic equation. I mean, this option, that is the C option. C is the correct option. Question number 13. What is the relative formula mass of anhydrous sodium carbonate? It's the formula of anhydrous sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. It's anhydrous sodium carbonate. I mean, anhydrous means there is no any sort of water of crystallization. So what is its mass? 2n, so 2 into AR of sodium, that is 23, plus AR of carbon, that is 12, plus 3 into AR of oxygen, that is equal to 16. So the overall answer, if I'm not wrong, that is equal to 106. It's 106. So C is the correct option. Come towards the next one, question number 14. What contain the greatest mass of solute? Which one option is having the greatest mass of the solute? Here's the volume and here's the concentration for every solute. Volume concentration, volume concentration, volume concentration. First of all, I'm going to use this sort of data, volume and concentration. Let me check what is the use of this volume and concentration data. We can find the number of moles by multiplication and division by the thousand. If the volume is in centimeter cube, then multiply it with dm cube, mole per dm cube, and divide it by 1000. And its answer will be, I mean, I'm going to calculate, I'm supposed to calculate the mole of NaOH. So 100 multiply by 1, that is the similar one, and divide by 1000. And answer is zero point 0.1 mole. First of all, I am finding the mole of all these solutes. Come towards sulfuric acid, 500 into zero point 0.5, 500 multiply by 0.05 divided by 1000. That is equal to 0.025 mole. Come towards potassium hydroxide. What is the mole of potassium hydroxide? I mean 1 multiplied by zero point 0.1, zero point 0.1, zero point 0.1. There is no need to divide by 1000 because the volume is in dm cube. Here I am going to divide, or I will divide by 1. In case of HCl, 2 dm cube and its mole per dm cube is equal to 0.01. So 2 into 0.01 divided by again 1 because the volume is in dm cube. So this answer will be equal to 0.02. 0.02. So these all are the moles of respective solute. It's mole of HCl, it's mole of KOH, it's mole of H2SO4, it's mole of NaOH. Now we can convert the mole into the mass by the formula. You know that mole is equal to mass over mr, and mr is equal to mass is equal to mole into mr. So I'm going to multiply mr with this number. I mean, zero point 0.1 mole into its mr, and mr is equal to 40 for this sodium hydroxide. So what is its mass? Let me check it from calculator. 4 gram. In case of sulfuric acid, what is its mr? Its mr is equal to 98. So 98 into 0.025, 98 into 0.025, and answer is 2.45. These are the grams and grams. Potassium hydroxide, the mass of mr of the potassium hydroxide is 56. So zero point 0.1 into 56. It's a 5.6. The next one, HCl, its mr is equal to 36.5. So 36.5, 36.5 multiplied by 0.02, and answer is 0.73 grams and gram. So the higher mass goes to this one option, that is a C option. I mean KOH. This KOH sample is having the highest mass of solute, so C is the correct option. Question number 15. How many tons of aluminium oxide Al2O3 are required to produce 27 tons of aluminium? There is no need to convert your mass into tons. I'm going to suppose that the mass is in grams. Let me suppose the mass in grams. I mean, let's suppose how many grams of aluminium oxide are required to produce 27 grams of aluminium. Once again, the formula is given, and we are supposed to find information to take information from this formula. So I'm going to apply a unitary method. I'm supposed to find the mass of aluminum oxide. I'm writing Al2 over O3 on the right hand side. Here is the equal. Overall, I'm putting the aluminium. I'm going to require the aluminium 27 tons. So I am writing Al2 over here because this one Al2O3 is having two aluminium. So Al2 is equal to Al2O3. What is the mass of Al2? I mean, aluminium is having 27 mass. 27 into 2, 27 into 2, that is equal to 54. So 54 gram of the aluminium is equal to 102 gram. So MR of Al2O3 is 102, and the AR of 2 aluminium is equal to 54. So according to this formula, 54 gram of aluminium can be obtained from 102 gram of Al 203. At spot, we are supposed to find the 27. So for 27, let's suppose it's X. You can apply the unitary method. You can apply the ratio proportion rule. So X will be equal to 102 over 54 into 27. 27 twos are 54, and it's equal to 51. So it is equal to 51. So B is the correct option. Question number 15, the correct option, the correct answer is the B. Question number 16. Dilute sulfuric acid is electrolyzed. Hydrogen gas and oxygen gas are produced. Which row correctly describes what happened? Oxygen produced at the anode. In case of H2SO4, OH negative ions move towards anode, and there is the formation of oxygen gas, formation of H2O, and there is the loss of electrons, you can say. And what is happening at the other one, cathode? It's happening at anode, at cathode. uh, Hydrogen ion, you can say 2H positive ion, are going to receive 4 mole of electrons to make 2 mole of hydrogen gas. So let's see over here. Oxygen is produced at anode. At anode, hydrogen is going to be formed at cathode, and concentration of the acid is going to increase because in this case water is being electrolyzed. In this case, sulfuric acid is not going to electrolyze itself. In the presence of sulfuric acid, water is going to electrolyze. So the correct option is, with the passage of time, the concentration of acid will increase. And so correct option is B option. Question number 17. Aluminium can be extracted by electrolysis of the aluminium oxide dissolved in molten cryolite. Which reaction take place during the electrolysis? Number one, what is happening at cathode and anode? Anode and cathode. At anode, there is the deposition of, or the formation of oxygen. O2 minus is going to lose its electron, and it can make oxygen. I mean, you can say 2 mole of O2 negative ion, 4 electrons are lost, and it's going to make O2. Overall, you can see that this is the correct one option, or the correct variant. What is happening at cathode? Aluminium 3 positive ion is gaining electron over here, 3 mole of electrons, and it is changing itself into the aluminium liquid, you can say. And this is the correct variant, the at least correct option, the correct variant of the reaction happening at cathode. So let's see what is happening at cathode and what is happening at anode. This is not the anodic reaction. There must be this one, O2 negative. These two options may be the correct option. The first one is not correct because oxygen must be in O2. It's not. It should not be in the atomic state. So it's incorrect. This is the correct one. And we can also write this equation like that. 2O, 2 minus and minus 4 electron goes to O2. These two equations are one and the same thing. These two equations are one and the same thing. You can write these two equations in these two both formats. The next one, aluminum is gaining 3 electron. Yes. So D, the last one, D option is the correct option. Question number 18, which reaction is exothermic? Number one, A option, combustion of methane. All combustion reactions are exothermic. All combustion reactions are exothermic. So I think there is no need to check the further options. And A is the correct option. A is the correct option. Question number 19. What is the correct balance equation and enthalpy change for the complete combustion of C4H8H9OH? And there are the four equations with their enthalpy, change in enthalpy answer. And number one, as you know that it's a combustion reaction, its enthalpy must be the negative. So either A or C may be the correct option. So enthalpy change for all sort of combustion reactions, combustion equation must be the negative one. Now come toward the equation. How many hydrogens are there? 10 hydrogens are there, 4 carbons are there. 4 carbons mean 4 CO2 will be formed, and 10 hydrogen mean 5 mole of H2O will be formed. Yes. And how to balance this equation? 4 2s are 8, plus 5, that is equal to 13, and there must be the 13 oxygen. 2 5s are 10 plus 1, no, there are 11 oxygen. Oxygens are not balanced, so A is the incorrect option. B is already incorrect. D is already incorrect. Let me check it once again. The C option. 6 twos are 12 plus 1, 13. Yes, it's showing the 13 oxygen atom, 4 CO2 because 4 mole of carbon atoms are there. It's correct. 5 mole of H2O because 10 mole of hydrogen atoms are there. Yes, it is correct. And this is the correct option finally. Finally, it's correct. Question number 20. Bromate, bromide, hydrogen ion react according to the equation shown. BrO3 1 negative plus 5Br 1 negative plus 6H positive ion aqueous goes to 3Br2 aqueous and 3 mole of H2O liquid. Some apparatus for measuring how the rate of this reaction varies over time is suggested. Number one, gas range. Number two, balance. Number three, pH meter. Which one is the correct? Which apparatus is suitable to measure the rate of this reaction? Number one, gas range. I think it's not suitable. It's not required. It's not required because there is no any formation of gas. There is no any I mean consumption of the gas. No gas is going to consume and no gas is going to form. So gas range is irrelevant option. Now come towards the balance and pH meter. Once again, with respect to balance, you can say if we are using balance, then there is again no formation of any sort of gas that is leaving the mixture. I mean, aqueous, aqueous, aqueous. The new formation is for bromine, aqueous, and liquid. I mean, nothing is going to left the reaction mixture. So again, balance is not required. And yes, the last one that definitely will be the correct option. pH meter is required because here you can see this solution is having initially acidic species, acidic component. So as the reaction is proceeding towards the forward direction, there is decrease in the concentration of H positive ion. So pH of the solution will increase. So definitely pH meter is required. So I mean the last three option, third option I mean, D is the correct option. Thank you very much. That's all for this part, for one first portion. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.